Yep, it's her again. Let's see what this lady said.
Hello, everybody.
And yes, as she's talking, I'll respond. We also gonna look at the comments, guys. I wanna make a note of something when you guys when she says something. So we're gonna make a note of something.
Welcome to, is it Saturday? Welcome to my Saturday evening of activism.
Welcome. Let's
All
go.
right, tonight we're going to talk about the hot topic of, but it happens to boys too, or it happens to insert any other not oppressed population here too.
Remember, guys, if you're not her, if you're not a female, you don't matter. So don't worry about it. Just women matter. And I haven't seen this video yet, but that's kind of the attitude she takes. So here we go.
White people are poor, bad things happen to boys, any sort of thing like that. Okay.
We're not boys, we're fucking men. Just you're not referring to yourself as a girl or women as girls. So don't fucking refer to us as boys. Don't be patronizing, okay? I start off not being nice to you because anybody who, anybody who see my last video and anyone who see me in the comment section of your videos knows I don't fucking like you. But it's not because you're for women's rights. It, people in my videos see why I don't like you. I don't care if this video gets monetized. I don't give a shit. I don't fucking like you.
So let's talk about systemic issues and making change.
So we're gonna talk about men in family court and like face false rape cases and shit like that, right? All right, let's talk.
All right, so let's talk about first. Let's back up. Let's talk about what a women's issue is, because that is the thing that I speak
Woman's issue, not women's issue. Maybe you should focus less on SJW issues and focus more on going back to fucking school.
out about the most. I want to say that when you start to figure out that you are part of an oppressed population, and you start to see the systems that allow or that are supporting your oppression, I think when you start to identify your own oppression and how that's happening to you, it becomes easier to align yourself to understanding other people's oppression. So I think that that's why a lot of times feminists are also more readily accepting of, when people are speaking out against racism. We can understand, we can see that that system's happening because we're literally living alongside it. It's just a slightly different thing.
No. You don't get to get away with that, okay? Listen to me. You don't get to get away with that. Quit hijacking Black Americans' fucking movement. I could tell that's where you were going. As soon as you started saying that, you don't get to hijack the movement of Black Americans. You want to claim to be oppressed? Cool. Show us how you're oppressed. Show us who's doing it. And then create your own cause. Create your own movement. Or whatever you want to call it. But don't you dare fucking want to equate what you think you're going through to what Black people actually went through. Don't do that.
Or poverty systems, things like that. I think once you start to understand the way that a system affects you, it can be easier to understand and align yourself with these other values. But let's talk about what a systemic issue is, or let's talk about what a women's issue is, because
woman's issue, what a woman's issue is, or what women's issues are. Excuse me. I shouldn't have to be giving you a fucking English lesson.
Like I said, there's multiple topics that I speak out on, but my main topic is women's issues. And so let's talk about what a women's issue is. A women's issue does not mean that an issue that affects women does not affect other populations. A women's issue simply means that that issue disproportionately affects women to other populations. And what this means for us as a society actually means that the people who are disproportionately affected by an issue, so in the case of women's issues, the people who are disproportionately affected by the issue should also be the experts in finding the solution, or be the people that we turn to in order to find a solution, right? So if tons and tons of women are experiencing an issue, then that women is the...
There's something, then that women, what the fuck? Homie, did you go to school? What the fuck? That women. I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, it was about the you're the experts and find a solution. Okay, tell us what the problem is. Go find a fucking solution. I mean, what do you want us to be here for? To tell you on YouTube, good job, little lady or woman or girl. Maybe if I call you a girl, like you're calling me a boy here, maybe that you'll. Oh, that'll probably be sexist if I do that. But good job. You want a pat on the back? Hey, listen, pack your lunch and go out there. Go out to the real world, find the fucking problem, identify how it's a problem, who's doing it, and then come back to us so we can talk. Shit.
The default defunct person, that group of women is the default defunct group to go to for the solution.
Do you know what defunct means? I mean, probably not, considering you keep saying a women. Like, defunct mean women don't exist anymore? Are you telling me that women do not exist anymore? I used to think that you had a brain. I don't know about that anymore.
So if you're saying, well, it affects men too, so why should we find, so if parenting in the workplace tends to disproportionately affect women, yes, it affects men too. But if we find the 5 men being disproportionately, and obviously that's not the right number, but so say we'll say there's 100 women and 5 men being disproportionately affected by workplace issues in regards to being the primary child care person. Does it make more sense to seek out the 5 men that are affected and for the most part also represented and respected within their workplace? Or does it make more sense to seek out the 100 women with the answers or with the...
It makes more sense to seek out the issue and fix it. Oh, I know. Fucking, that's weird. That, like, maybe we shouldn't look at what's affecting who more, but maybe we should just look at how to fix the problems that are affecting everybody. I know that's like a really egalitarian thing to say, and you either have to be a men's rights activist or a feminist. Like, egalitarians. I mean, why would we want to be in the middle and not fight with each other?
problems that we can then start working towards a solution. Because that's part of the problem is people are like, don't point out the problem. Don't point out the problem. You cannot find a solution until you find the problem. If I don't have the opportunity to identify, oh, I can't tell you that the way you're behaving towards me is rude or is making me feel uncomfortable. If you don't know that, you have no interest in finding a solution because you just get to move along hunky-dory. But here's the thing. Women's issues disproportionately affect women. Racial issues disproportionately
Quit fucking doing that. Quit doing that.
Affect people of minority skin tones. So who do we turn to for what's going on with racial issues? We should turn to people with minority skin.
You know that whites are not the majority everywhere, right? As a matter of fact, you know who has more people? More people as part of their nationality than any other nationality in the world? Homie. That would be Chinese. That'd be the Asians. Well, all the Asians, I think. It's not just Chinese. But, like, if you put all the Asians together, there are more Asians than there is everybody else in the world. So are you saying white people are a minority? I don't know. Or are you saying that it's minority depending on country? Because, yes, blacks are a minority here in America. Yes, Hispanics are. Everybody is, except for whites. Whites are the majority here. But that's not so true in, like, Uganda and in places like that. So are you for the white minority that's in non-white countries? I don't get it.
Yes, you can hear me to say, hey, turn to them. But they're going to be the experts on what's going on in their reality and how they find their solution, right? So that's the thing. It disproportionately affects the population. It doesn't, and that's the other thing, is it just because it disproportionately affects women. If 100 women come to you with a solution for better parenting in the workplace or better balance with parenting in the workplace, the 5 men still benefit. We've still found a solution for better parenting in the workplace.
That's what I just said.
Another one that gets touted a lot, like rape issues, right? And they say, well, men get raped too. Check it out, guys. Who rapes men? Men, for the most part.
So you admit that other women do it? All right, since we're talking about rape issues, guys, check it out. Let's talk about false rape allegations. Who pretends that men raped them? Women, for the most part. You see how I just took what you said and I changed it to fit my narrative. Or narrative's a bad word, but I changed it to fit the counterpoint to what you're saying, and it makes just as much sense. Well, as I told you in the last video, that means you didn't make a point.
Women disproportionately underrepresent the population of people who are committing rape.
Men disproportionately underrepresent the population of people that are in jail for false rape. For false rape claims. I don't hear you say anything about that.
So if we look at the women's issue of rape and the violence against women associated with it, we're still looking at the violence against men.
But that, see, I can't switch that around. You want to know why? Because if we look at the false rape claims against men and the violence that happens to men because of it in prisons, we're not looking at women having that happen to them. Because there's no man out there saying she raped me. She may well have. But you know what though? Who's gonna get made fun of? Who's gonna have that happen? Oh, you let a woman rape you? You little weak bitch. Yeah. You probably liked it, huh? I've actually heard people say that about false rape cases. Oh, well, he probably liked it anyway. You fucking stupid. How about this? When a woman gets raped, I want the next man to stand up and be like, oh, she probably liked it anyway, right? Imagine what would happen to a guy if a guy said that.
Of course we care.
No, you don't.
That men are getting raped.
No, you don't.
Of course we care.
No, you don't.
Of course we care that dad can't get home to take care of his child.
Nope.
That doesn't mean that women aren't the disproportionately affected population. It doesn't mean that there aren't more female experts in what's happening. And you want to talk about what an expert is, you're like, oh, you're not an expert, you're at home. I am the expert at how I'm treated in my home. I am the expert.
Listen, you bickering harpy. You want to know why? Maybe dudes don't have nothing to do with you? It's because we don't want to look at this face all fucking day, bitching and whining and complaining and talking about shit and not saying anything.
Expert at how I am treated in my workplace. You're not the expert in how I'm treated in my workplace. I am. She is. You're not the expert in how I feel when you speak to me in a particular way. I am. She is. You're not the expert on how it feels when you sexually assault me. I am. I'm the expert on why that topic matters.
So, trying to invoke emotion again. I could say those very same things to you about me, and they make just as much sense, right? You ever been arrested for a false rape claim? Have you? You ever been arrested for one? You ever had a female call the fucking cops and say that you did something to her and you didn't? And go to jail over it until you were proven to be innocent? You're sitting in fucking jail on her word. That happened to a dude, 2 dudes last year, just got released from prison for 7 fucking years because some hippo looking bitch, and yes, I guess I just fat shamed her. It's okay, I'm fat too, so had them in jail for prison for 7 years. They didn't do anything. Shit. My ex got me locked up saying I did shit to her and I didn't. But the point is in both of those cases, when it was found out to be false, nothing happened to the woman. And the men were the ones in jail. The men were the one in prison. The men are the ones still having to deal with it when it comes up from time to time. Ain't nothing happened to those two though. Nothing. You want equal treatment? All right. I'll switch roles with you. We live in a day and age where I could say I'm a woman and you could say you're a man. Let's do it. All right? I guarantee you within a week, you'll be crawling back saying, no, let me have my old position back. You don't want what's on this side of the fence.
You don't get to tell me how it feels.
Neither do you.
Women's issues are issues that disproportionately affect women, and therefore women need to be part of the expert solution. That doesn't mean that women need to be responsible for the solution. I also want to make that very, very clear. Because that's another thing that...
So you get to bitch and complain about issues that you're saying exist. Don't show how they exist. Get to harp on us and yell and scream at us and talk about how it's, this is happening to you and all that other stuff, and you don't want us to speak for you, and then you want us to speak for you because women don't have to be the ones responsible for the solution, right? So we're only allowed to, so men, don't speak for this lady, guys, until she tells you it's okay for you to speak for her.
Happens is people go, there's this issue, and they go, well, you can't point out an issue without a solution. Well, if the solution is your behavior, the solution is how my community treats me. How do I do that solution without you? How do I make you stop raping me without identifying that you're doing it? And
how do I make you stop falsely claiming that I raped you without you stopping doing it?
You responsible for stopping that action. How do I make you stop being rude to me or sexually assaulting me in my workplace?
Nobody's sexually assaulting you at your workplace. Man, I'm glad I don't work anywhere near you. How many of you guys imagine working with this lady? How long do you think you will last before you're getting arrested for either legit just straight fucking Deboing this chick and just squaring her up, or because of some bullshit claim that she made about you? You're the type of woman that men are trying to avoid. We're scared to be around you, and I'll tell you why. Because you're going to hook somebody one day. You're going to get somebody. You are going to get somebody good. And they're going to be sitting in a jail cell over some bullshit that you said they did and they didn't. And they'll be the experts on what happened to them, not you, right? This is bullshit. You're the type of woman that it is scary to be around you because you will fuck some dude up one day with your attitude.
If I can't identify that you are being rude to me or sexually assaulting me in my workplace,
you don't care if people are rude
we have to be able to identify.
I don't care when people are rude to me. I'm used to it. I don't give a fuck.
That you're doing something. And so if you're removing that ability because women aren't the experts on the things that they're going through, we're supposed to defunct to the 5 men in the population who dealt with what we're going through.
You're supposed to not exist to the 5 men? The fuck, dude? Learn some fucking English. Holy shit.
No, we fix it for women and we fix it for men. It's not that we don't care about men. We absolutely care about the men affected by these things. These things are awful things to be affected by. That's why we're losing our shit, guys. It's not fun. So yeah, we don't want men to be harassed in their workplace. We don't want men to be sexually assaulted. We don't want men to have terrible things happening to them. We don't want poverty, oppression in men. We don't want any of those things to be happening to you. We don't want your parenting. We don't want your work to get in the way of your parenting. How many of your wives are asking you to be more involved at home? We also don't want your work to be getting in the way of your parenting.
How many husbands are asking the wives to maybe be more involved in a workplace or more involved in home? That goes both ways, but again, it doesn't fit your narrative the other way. So you're just bringing this up. It goes both ways.
When we fix it for women, we fix it for men. So yes, I talk about women's...
But you're not responsible for the solution. So when you're talking about when men fix it for women, men fix it for men, right? Because women aren't responsible for the solution. You just said it.
But if you're coming to my content and trying to speak to me about, well, it affects men too, this is a conversation that I just don't need to have over and over again. Of course it affects men. Of course men are affected. Women are disproportionately affected, and I can't have that debate every time I need to talk about a women's issue. It's too important. Men are highly represented at this point in time.
No, we're not.
Men's input is already valued.
Not really.
I need to get us to a point where we value women's input.
How much? I bet you those 2 guys that sat in prison told the police they didn't do it, and the woman said, but they did do it. Whose input was more valued? Spent 7 years in prison. 7 years. It was her input.
Because that's the missing voice. I can't defunk to the 5 men going through what I'm going through. I need to defunk to the millions of women.
You don't know what defunct means. Wow.
Going through what I'm going through. We are the experts on our issues. We are the experts on what's happening in our own lives, on how it's making us feel. And you can talk about, we can do a whole separate video on removing emotion from something, but my emotions are the only reason why it matters that you're stepping on my toes.
Nobody's stepping on your toes.
That's the same thing that's true for men. If a woman's mistreating you and you're really, really upset that she's making you feel bad and you don't like her anymore, the only thing that matters in that is your emotions. So if I'm supposed to remove my emotions from my systemic oppression in order to speak with you rationally about it, you've completely removed the reason why I need to speak to you to begin with. My humanity is in my emotions. That's why it matters. If you were making me feel like sparkles and like fucking rainbows on freaking unicorns, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Like, we have to be able to speak out about these things, and we have to be the voice of what's happening. And yes, I love the men that support us, and yes, I want men to support us, and I want to support men in change.
Do you love the men that don't support
but
you?
But in women's issues, women's voices come first. In racial issues, voices of color come first. In Native American...
I hope to look in the comments and see at least 1 or 2 black Americans telling you not to try to fucking hijack their ancestry, what happened to them, and make it work for you. I'm done explaining that. Fuck you.
Native American voices come first. We do not have the lived experience. We must listen to other people. In issues of poverty, impoverished voices come first. If impoverished people are telling you that they're working 80 hours a week to try and make it work, and you're saying, no, you're just lazy, you are not listening. The population you are oppressing is the population you need to listen to solve the problem. And if you're not willing to listen to that population, you are being an informed oppressor. At this point, this far in this video, you're an informed oppressor.
Well, I've told you about some men's issues, and if you don't seem to be active about those, then at this point far in this video, I guess you're just an informed oppressor, right? Yeah.
So, that's it for tonight. Listen to the populations that are disproportionately affected by an issue when you are looking for a solution. All right. Like and subscribe. Still growing YouTube. I think I loaded...
Hey, yeah, you grew. Right after I released my first video about you, you got 8 more subscribers overnight. So you grew. Thank you. Or you're welcome. And, we can't like your video. You disabled the like and dislike button, which, by the way, historically has about 4 likes and about anywhere between 800 to 1,000 dislikes. I wonder why you did that.
Like 5 new videos on YouTube today that like hadn't gone up yet, so I haven't even looked at how those are doing. I honestly don't look that much on there. I just kind of check in every once in a while to see what the stats are at.
Nobody gives a shit.
Engagement happens mostly on Facebook. I'd like to get Instagram engagement up, so if you guys want to like comment over there, that'd be cool.
Nobody
but also
wants to comment over there.
Likes and subscribes, but more importantly, I love the comments. Please talk to us. Tell us what your experiences are with these things. Tell us what your questions are with these things. Because I do like answering questions. It's just a matter of, there's certain questions that we...
Who's us? It's only ever you in the videos, unless you're talking to the voices that are in your head.
Shouldn't be answering over and over again to move these issues forward. Because that's not the root of the issue. We need to talk about the roots of the issue. So if you want to talk about those things, like please comment below. And then... again, PMs just really are not working at this point. For the most part, for some reason, people who are opposed to my views tend to think that they are the exception to the PM rule. If I don't have time for the people who want to speak about how much they love this, I definitely don't have time to PM you about how you're opposed to, I don't know, treating people with dignity and respect. I don't know.
See, I'm opposed to the way that you present the message, and I think you have other motives behind these videos. But I gave you time. I put your videos on my channel. But you can't seem to answer a question that people have for you if they disagree with you. That's a little scary.
So PM, don't, you can PM me if you want, especially like if you have questions about being an activist. That's the biggest thing I'd love for people to PM me about
How do I
right
become
now.
a men's
Also,
rights
if you need
activist?
support in these things, like please know that you can inbox me. I will get to those things at some point. Like I said, there's just so much going on in our personal lives right now that while I would love to be able to individually support everybody, like time-wise, I can't do that. But if you do, if I'm the only possible listening ear, please do message me. And then again, if you are ready to share this, share my voice, please, please, please. I would love that. And then also, even more importantly, if you have an ethical voice and a cell phone, I would love for you to share your voice. And that's something that if you need support, again, I'll get to it soon. But PM me directly if you need some.
I'm sharing my voice. Oh, I'm definitely going to share I'll share your voice and my voice at the same time.
Want to say, yes, please, use your voice, because I would be that person to be your cheerleader and to get you going with that, because yes, I think that you should. We need to hear more people.
I am.
And yes, Warren's right. We have to treat everyone as we would want to be treated. I guess that's the big part that I don't get. Like why even
treat everyone as you want to be treated. So you want the people you disagree with to listen to you, but you just flat out said in your video that you wouldn't listen to them. Okay.
When people do the opposite thing where they say like, well, it was tough for me, so it should be tough for you. Like, why? Why wouldn't you just do something to make it better? I don't understand. Well, hopefully we are doing something to make it better. I'm doing something to make it better. Hopefully you're doing something to make it better too. I know my people are doing something to make it better. So yeah, I have hope for the future. And even if you don't, I'll carry mine to get us there. All right. Bye, guys. Have a great night. Enjoy your Saturday. Hopefully it's just as wild as mine. I don't know if that's a good thing. I'm enjoying mine. All right. Bye.